The Pathwork, I looked through and there was something we did miss. In the second paragraph, at the bottom of the second paragraph, I'll read the whole paragraph because I actually missed out the last couple of sentences. The love for God, the longing for God, is the driving force in every human being. Even those who have not yet found God, or who believe that they do not believe in God, harbour these strong currents in their soul. Those who experience a complete turnabout in their spiritual development and recognise God in consciousness enter into a new life, and this is the sentence I missed out. This can happen within one and the same incarnation. Whoever steps through the door will already live in a much lighter world, yet there are many more gates to pass through. So, the door it's talking about there is the door of the awareness of being consciousness. This is as I've said, it can't be understated in terms of its importance. That you are consciousness, you are consciously here, present, capable of being consciously aware of what is going through you in terms of thoughts and feelings and physical sensations. Okay? So you can study yourself with those things. Right? But it's saying here that not everybody goes into this, goes through that door, goes through that gate, into this realm of starting to study your own consciousness. Yeah? And so back to that paragraph just before we left last time. Right. People often wonder about communication with God's world.
Is it like page 3?
Page 2, bottom page 3, yeah. Last paragraph. I'm just going to reread that, because I think it's an important thing to get clear. It starts with people often wonder, yeah? You got that, Ross? About communication with God's world. Yes, they say, I can quite believe that such communication is possible, but what can it mean to me? Okay, so this is touching on what you were saying. What do I need it for? My answer is that such communication can give you one of the parts necessary for your further development, namely intake from outside. Now, do you remember what that is, what we mean about intake from outside? We're saying that if you're doing your thinking, you're thinking like a dog chasing its own tail. Because you're using a thinking system that's born of the past. Understand? Where do you develop your thoughts? Well, you have associations with people and events and experiences, and as a consequence of your association, you make associations and predictions and projections from them. So you, a lot of the time, are reacting in the present by defining it as a result of your past experiences. So if you use your thinking, you're defining the present moment from a past perspective always. Yeah? So really what you're saying is you're trying to get beyond that, but you don't know whether there is anything beyond that, but you do know you're beyond that. How do you know you're beyond that? Anyone know?
How do you hear? How do you still hear?
Because you know you're not your thoughts. How do you know you're not your thoughts? How do you know your thoughts aren't you fully and representative of you?
You're watching them.
Because you're watching them. Very good. Because you are able to step back from your thinking and say, what am I thinking right now? And my goodness, you can see what you're thinking or what you've just been thinking. Right? You can become thought watchers. You can become feeling watchers. Yeah? So you know there's something outside you, higher than them, because you can determine whether you're going to think them or not, can you? Can you decide you're not going to think something?
Yes.
Well, you can, but with varying degrees of success.
I said it to them, and I think like that.
Easier said than done, those
Easier said
sometimes.
than done, but it's something we say. It's
An
not
attempt.
easy, but you
An
can
attempt.
do it.
But sometimes you don't
certain
necessarily
way.
say it, but you
No,
think it.
don't
I don't
necessarily say
like what I've been thinking and want to change those thoughts.
Right. But the thing is, as a scientist, you see, self-study with us in mind, I think I'd like to make the people's science, because you're looking for the truth rather than what you believe. So you're looking for the truths that you know of you. I experience my experiences, and I think part of my experiences is that I have thoughts that are not me, because I can be higher than them, I can step back from them and see them and be aware of them. Yeah? So I have an awareness higher than that. So you're, in a sense, are higher already. But is there higher than you, is the question. And when you realise you didn't create yourself, did you? Did anybody create themselves? That's a silly question. So, if you didn't create yourself, then you really don't know, but you are created, or you are here, experiencing, and you experience, amongst other things, a world of objects, people, events. Now, if that world looks as if it's got any suggestion of pattern in it, in any way, then you should be wondering about what was the pattern maker. As you would if you saw a wallpaper that was a certain pattern of intricacy recurring, and if somebody said, "Oh, what just happened by accident?" I threw some paints on that canvas, and it turned out in that intricate fashion. See? So if there is something outside higher than you, oh my goodness, you're going to look a bit red in the face if you didn't ask when you were in trouble, and you didn't seek to understand from that perspective, that outside perspective. Does this make sense? So what do I need it for? Well, you need it for guidance because you say you don't know, because you're a student. And the best way that a student can be a student is by acknowledging that they don't know, so they're open to learning. But not from the encrusted ego thought system. Now, to carry on the paragraph, my answer is that such communication can give you one of the parts necessary for your further development, namely intake from the outside. Furthermore, it gives hints, help and direction for searching, discovering and applying the outer knowledge. So not only the outer knowledge are you open to, so you start your journey, but once you start in that openness and you apply yourself studiously to listening in the quiet, listening into the silence of you to hear more and more what's under the surface or under the wall of you or behind the wall of you, then this inner help helps you to apply the knowledge, this outer knowledge that it gives you, to the inner problems, which are really your true problems. Your true problems are the within problems that are expressed in the outside, so that you come up against them to see that you've got problems. Because the outside is a teaching device. You can't find happiness in the teaching device. The universe is for you to learn in physical incarnation, spiritual development, emotional maturity. It's really to learn to recover yourself when you've fallen into the darkness of not knowing. Is this clear? So, for this, the secondary part, necessary part, the applying of it, for this you need constant encouragement in the applying of it, this knowledge. Because you're going to sometimes think, you won't like some of it. There'll be resistances in you to it. So you need constant encouragement, strength and blessing, apart from very specific concrete help. Okay? Concrete help from the outside or inside, it is ideas that will help you to know what to do next and get some sense in which it will help you to develop, even if it's tough. You have to have some sense of assurance and motivation given to you to progress.